Hi, my name is Globku, and it is my full-time job to make YouTube videos about anime games. Sounds like a nightmare, I know, it's not that bad. So today we're gonna do something that I hope becomes a yearly tradition. We are gonna host the Anime Game Awards 2023. I've got a few different categories lined up so we can go through the year and talk about the games that ended up shaping it. And I do expect some of you to disagree with some of my picks. That is fine, I know that's gonna happen, but ultimately they are my choices, so I'm gonna stand by them. And it all starts with a category that might sound a little bit weird. Best game I didn't play. Basically, there are a lot of games I didn't play, but just through sheer osmosis, I have heard great things about them, which does make me want to play them. I just wasn't able to do it this year. Due to my own lack of time or organization skills, whatever the reason was, I didn't want these games to go without a mention today. And so the award for the best game I didn't play goes to Fate Samurai Remnant. Anime Musou games can be a winning formula, and they have been a lot of times in the past, but often are very simplistic too. So to see this many positive reviews on Steam as well as Metacritic praising the story, gameplay systems, the gameplay loop, it was so heartwarming that it has made Fate Samurai Remnant probably the first game that I'm gonna pick up as soon as I have some free time. I also want to give a shout out to Grand Blue Fantasy vs Rising, which came out very recently, and people are just in love with this game. I almost made it the winner of this category, but there might be some recency bias, and the €50 season pass didn't sit very well with me, especially because I kind of wanted to be gonna be a character, man. But congrats to Fate Samurai Remnant, you are the best game I didn't play. Let's move on to another category, Best Style. This is essentially a category for visuals, but not only that, it's kind of a best graphics, but more. It takes stuff like enemy design into account, the menu design, even the soundtrack. So it's not just the best looking game. Think of Persona 5. It came out in 2016, but I would say Uncharted 4, Battlefield 1, Forza Horizon 3. All of those games have better graphics, but the style of Persona is just on another level. And so the winner for Best Style 2023 is One Piece Odyssey. And it's funny because I started out really not liking the visuals when they first announced the game. I thought it was a big downgrade graphically based on trailers, but when I played the game in 4K, it was incredible. And it's not just the graphics here. I think every single enemy has incredible design and amazing attention to detail in animation for every single attack. I mean, both your attacks and your enemies' attacks. A lot of them you won't never see because you're gonna defeat those enemies way too quick. But those details are there. I love the look of the menus, I love the look of the cutscenes, and the soundtrack is just incredible. One of my favorites this year for sure. So congrats to One Piece Odyssey for having the best style of 2023. As runner-ups, I have Honkai Star Rail. That was very impressive too. It's a game that I had trouble playing over its initial hour thanks to its gacha nature, but what I played was really impressive, and it probably has the best soundtrack this year. If nothing else, boot up a YouTube playlist and just listen to the Honkai Star Rail soundtrack. And the same goes for Black Clover Mobile. I'm still super impressed at how this game looks on a phone. I think visuals really carry that hard. But with that said, we're gonna move on to Best Ongoing Game. This is for games that came out before 2023 but have done a good job updating, giving us new content to keep enjoying them over time, or straight up improve the game so much that it went from bad to good. And this year's winner is going to be Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Now, you're probably thinking that it's because of the World Martial Arts Tournament DLC, and that's a big part of it for sure. CC2 really cooked with that one. But that wasn't all they did in 2023. At the start of the year, they also put out the Bardock DLC, which, although not as unique as the World Martial Arts Tournament, was still a very solid DLC. They give us a little chunk of Planet Vegeta to explore and a cool twist at the end. And on top of that, they also put out a PS5 and Xbox Series X version of Kakarot, upgrading all of its visuals, improving loading times drastically. So it's not just one piece of DLC, it's all of these things combined. As runners-up, you know I'm gonna say Naruto Shinobi Striker. It feels like they're a bit on autopilot at this point, but it's a good autopilot. It's giving us new characters and jutsu at a very good pace, and let's not forget that they've been adding new maps for free. Honestly, if they had a new game mode and custom lobbies, it would probably win this category. And you might be surprised by this one, but Dragon Ball The Breakers. I think I actually like this game now. They've obviously added a lot of new transfers along with 3 new raiders this year, Vegeta, Ginyu, and Broly, but also added ranked to its matchmaking and have crossplay coming out next year. I don't know what triggered this change for me, but I actually like playing it now. Must have been some combination of everything. The biggest bummer is still not being able to queue with a group of friends if you want to be the raider, so it's a game that I always have to play solo because I do like to be the raider once in a while, but being a runner-up to this category was already way more than I expected. And with that, we come to the category that no one wants to win, and that is Most Disappointing. This isn't necessarily the worst game that came out in 2023, just the one that we had high expectations for and ended up failing those expectations in some way. And I think it's pretty obvious who wins this year: Naruto Storm Connections. Now, maybe we saw it coming ever since they announced the game, but think back to before they had that awful marketing campaign. How high was the expectation for a new entry in the Naruto Storm series and to launch with so many issues. Xbox wasn't able to play online at all for a full month. No one is able to invite friends to play with still. And matchmaking is incredibly skewed because there is no punishment for rage quitting, so everyone just keeps winning and ranking up. Maybe the game can still be saved with updates, but at this point, even if the updates are perfect, I wonder if it is too late. I do have a couple of disappointing runners-up here too. Blue Protocol was a game that I was actually interested in, and then I played it at an event and it was fine. Definitely not as good as I hoped. But what absolutely killed it for me was releasing it first in Japan back in June, and it's still not out worldwide. For an online game like this, we're either all in together or it feels like we're playing last year's game, because we literally are. And also Infinity Strash, the Dragon Quest game, which admittedly I did not play. But I didn't play it precisely because of the poor reviews. This game absolutely seduced me with the trailers and the visuals, and then I found out that it's basically a very shallow combat system and you just jump from arena to arena, so it's not really the Dragon Quest action experience that I was looking for. Or more importantly, the experience that the game was sold as. But these games only ended up being disappointed because there were some expectations behind them. There was something to look forward to, which is exactly the point of this next category. Most anticipated. I think this speaks for itself. It's the game that I'm looking forward to the most. And there's a lot coming out next year and beyond that I'm very excited for. I mean, early next year we have Grand Blue Fantasy Relink and JJK Curse Clash coming out almost at the same time. I don't know which one I'm playing. And we've got Sandland and even Demon Slayer Sweep the Board. I'm actually interested. Call me crazy. But the winner of this category has to be Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, which just goes to show that no matter how many times Spike Chunsoft hurts me, all it takes is a pretty trailer to make me go, ooh, the graphics. And just like that, I forgot about all the pain they've inflicted on me. It's a sequel to Tenkaichi, which is exciting on its own, but it also seems to be a big bet for Bandai Namco too, with a bigger budget and more development time than usual. And visually, I mean, Spike Chunsoft, they have leveled up quite a bit. I do have a runner-up for this category though, which is going to be Project L. Now, maybe it doesn't count as an anime game. I mean, arcade is included in the Wikipedia page titled Anime-Influenced Western Animated Television Series. So, kinda, let me have this. And with that, it's time for the big one, Best Game. This is it. The best anime game of 2023. Funny enough, it's a game that hasn't even been mentioned in any of the previous categories. I do have One Piece Odyssey as the runner-up. The biggest problem I had with this game was the difficulty, which seems to have patched. They have made the game more challenging, which makes me want to give it another go. But I like the innovative combat system with the different zones. The visuals and even the story were so great. A lot of people didn't give it the time it deserved because they didn't want a turn-based RPG, but I thought the game was fantastic. But the winner of Best Game 2023 is My Hero Ultra Rumble. This free-to-play hero-based battle royale was probably my most played game this year. I think the concept really works. And not only that, I think it's actually something that could be replicated with other shonen anime IP. If Tenkaichi and the Storm series kind of kicked off this big wave of every anime game is an arena fighter, I think Ultra Rumble could be kicking off a wave of free-to-play anime battle royales. And they've been doing a great job at keeping the game updated with new characters, duo queue, solo queue, and balance patches too. Some of the balancing decisions may be questionable, but it keeps the game fresh and always gives me a good reason to return and try it out again. So yeah, My Hero Ultra Rumble wins the Best Anime Game Award this year, and to be honest, it wasn't even close. And those are the Anime Game Awards 2023. If you're curious, outside of anime, my personal game of the year was Street Fighter 6, and again, it wasn't even close. But I do hope you've enjoyed the awards today, and if you have any ideas for categories for next year, let me know in the comments below. Happy holidays, everyone. Have a great 2024, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye.